Fog Racing back with another video, and it is the Japanese Grand Prix review. And Max Verstappen is a double world champion. We weren't really expecting it this weekend because he had the win and get the fastest lap. And you can't just assume that someone's always going to hoover the fastest lap off him, especially if that's what he needs to become world champion. But he done it. But you know what? We had to set our alarms this morning here, us Europeans, Brits. I got up at quarter to 6 for a 6 o'clock race start. And you know what? For 2 minutes, I wasn't disappointed. We got a standing start in the wet. Vettel goes off at turn 1. You're thinking, this guy is just washed. Vettel, very shit, if we're being honest. But you know what? He actually had a pretty decent finishing position. But then after this, I mean, you've got cars struggling. I think you had Guan Yu Zhou who's spinning it. And the conditions were tricky, right? I'm under no illusion of that, right? Then Sainz bins it. And then Albon's gearbox goes, which then brings it the safety car. And then at the end of lap 2, they bring out the red flag, right? But my problem here is, right, the conditions were too wet for intermediates. It's not like the conditions were undrivable. You know, like, the problem is they're starting on intermediates, tyres that can't really cope with the wet tyre, with the wet conditions, or the wet can. In my opinion, that is not a legitimate reason to throw out the red flag, right? They need to understand that. There was a bit of drama because a tractor was on track trying to recover the vehicle that was trying to pick up the signs. There was also a marshal on the track. Gasly flying past, ridiculous. A few drivers voicing their outrage at this. And then we have the red flag, right? And it's like, we had like a 2-hour delay, literally a 2-hour delay. And I was sitting there hanging when I was watching it. It's like, why is there even, like, why aren't we just going out behind the safety car and circling, like, at the bare minimum? And then they eventually did that, then after 3 laps they started. But it boils back to the question of, why can't they just go out and race on the wet tyre? The problem is, after a couple of laps on the wet tyre, they just pit for the inters. Yes, it's quicker, but it runs a higher risk. And that shouldn't warrant a reason to be red flag at F1 these days, man. To just say it bluntly, it's full of pussies. That's the bottom line. Well and truly, that is the problem in F1 today. It really is. I mean, at the lap the safety car came in, we had the likes of Vettel and Latifi pitting for inters. So you're trying to tell me the track's alright enough for it went inters, but, you know, 10 minutes prior, they couldn't be out racing because it was too dangerous? They just make it up as they go along, the FIA. Shocking. Due this, the next lap, everyone comes in, bar Alonso, Danny Ricciardo, and Mick Schumacher, which was insane, because I thought at this point, it was just a continuous rain. It's not even like you can spin the argument and say, oh, well, the rain went off and that's why they were racing, right? It was a continuous rain, and the reason why the spray got lighter was the fact that the cars were constantly going round. That's the only reason it got lighter. Let's not try and pretend that, you know, the rain stopped and it was drying up. It's because the cars are going round. It continuously rained here at the Suzuka circuit. Like, let's no spin it. That's exactly what happened. And I honestly thought at this point, for Alonso, Ricciardo, and Mick, more for Alonso, because he was about 15 seconds in front of Max when Max came out the pit lane. I thought, fuck, if they red flagged this race, Alonso's won it, because they've did more than 2 racing laps. But then the next lap, Alonso and Ricciardo come in. Schumacher holds it out, which was a bit stupid. But yeah, and then after this, it was kind of just a dull race. Like, you had drama at the start with the pit stops. Russell performed a couple of good moves on, like, the likes of Shinoda, Norris, and Latifi. Alonso got stuck behind Vettel. Vettel's gamble paid off. So did Latifi. He got a point as well. So good for Nicholas Latifi. I mean, there was some good battles. Hamilton and Ocon had a good battle. Perez and Leclerc had a good battle. Alonso then decided, fuck it, with Alpine and pit it. But realistically, if you were going to do the strategy that Alonso did, you should have pit it, like, ages ago. Now, I know you could say, well, he didn't have enough build enough gap, but you see when people pit it for the inters, like who was it? Like Gasly, Guan Yu Zhou, Alonso, Lance Stroll. They were going like 3-4 seconds a lap quicker, and like Jenson Button said, you were actually making up your pit stop within like 3 laps because you were going that much quicker. So yeah, it had to be done. Alonso does pit. Alonso didn't actually lose anything by pitting, and he finished literally side by side with Sebastian Vettel. George Russell had a bit of a shitter, in my opinion. Couple of good moves, can't deny that, but the performance was not good. Ocon did very well to hold off Hamilton. As for the top three, Perez, Leclerc battled for the last five laps, but is what it is. And Leclerc locks up into the final chicane, goes straight across. Perez does like the switchback on him. Perez about to get him. Leclerc squeezes him. But then as we go across the line, like Verstappen's not the champion. But then as they're doing their interviews, Leclerc's given a 5-second time penalty, which promotes Perez but demotes Leclerc. And due to this, Perez and Leclerc drop out the title fight, which therefore makes Max the champion. It was a very anticlimactic ending. Oh man, it just kind of summed up how much of a mess this weekend was. And to be honest, F1 has been in this season just so much mess going on. And then the cost caps revealed tomorrow. But oh, God forbid I talk about the cost cap. I actually make a vid talk about how Red Bull could be getting stripped of their title, and YouTube give it a strike because I talk facts. I'm not even a Hamilton. I'm not coming out here saying fake factual information, spreading fake news. I actually come out and said that he could be getting his title stripped off him, which it says in the fucking rule book. Oh, but Vaughn Grayson's the bad guy. Anyway, till next time. Peace.